Electro & Co. has come out with a new mini bike slash pit bike, and it's called the Rizzler. So they have the 5kW variant and then the 8kW, the Sport. Electro & Co. sent out the 5kW setup. I'm gonna do some 0 to 30 and top speed runs with the 60 volt setup, the 5kW setup, and then I'm gonna swap out the 60 volt battery for a 72 volt battery, and we'll see if we gain any performance. And then we'll answer the question, could the Rizzler be the best electric mini bike of all time? Let's put this thing together and find out. So the fit and finish on this bike is fantastic. I mean, nice, easy assembly. This bike has a lot of options that I would normally have to add to other bikes. So you have front and rear hydraulic disc brakes. Then it also has front and rear suspension with a monoshock, dirt bike style foot pegs, 6-inch wheels or 6-inch tires. So this is standard mini bike stuff, but these are nice street tires. So I like the way the motor and then the fender is incorporated into the swing arm, which gives it a nice short chain. Another really cool part about this bike is the suspension is ride height adjustable. Then you have a headlight and a tail light, which I normally have to install on a lot of these bikes. So you have the tail light and then a brake light, headlight. Then you have your display. So you have mile per hour, miles, range, battery level, battery life, and then the mode. So you have 1, 2, and S. S, I guess, is sport mode or supersonic. 1, 2, and sport. Headlight, taillight switch, then your headlight, taillight indicator. So this Rizzler here is the 5kW setup with a 60 volt battery. And then they have the sport version of this bike, and it has 8kW with a 72 volt battery. So this bike is based on Electro & Co.'s RTR platform. So you can take a lot of the components from that bike and use on the Rizzler, including the 13kW kit. You know, just in case you need a lot more speed. But this thing might be fast enough. So I'm gonna go test this thing out from 0 to 30 and top speed, and I'll use the Draggy performance meter to measure the 0 to 30 times, so I can get a baseline on this bike, just in case we do some future mods. Oh, another thing I forgot to talk about before I go ride is you can put stunt pegs on this bike. So you have the spot here in the swing arm, and they bolt right there. I mean, I don't think I'll be doing any stunting today or stunt riding today. I don't want to show everybody up, make everybody jealous with my superior skills. So I think I'll just go ahead and test it for 0 to 30 and top speed. So let me test this on 1 first. The first setting, we'll see what the top speed is. Man, it's still pretty quick. So we topped out about, I don't know, 21 or so on the first setting, 20. We put it on 2. I was like, moves out on 2.
So we're topped out at 40. Man, it got a lot of power for number 2. Let's see how quick it is. That's pretty good. This thing handles good. Handles nice. You can tell they got this thing sorted out. Got the proper fork angle and all that stuff. I think this bike will handle a lot of speed. It feels really stable. The brakes work fantastic. All right, let me put it on supersonic mode. And I'll see if I can get a 0 to 30 real quick. Just to see, just to get a baseline on this. Okay, so we got a 0 to 30, 3.59. It's actually pretty quick. For the most mellow version of this bike, the 5kW version, this thing is pretty darn quick. Let me try it again, just to back that up real quick. All right, let me see if I can beat up on 3.59. So we did a 3.59 and a 3.65, but I think the second time I kind of rolled into it slow, and that's pretty good. We have 1.6 miles so far and still 94% battery. And this thing picked up speed quick. Pulling the hill at 45, no problem. Man, this is a great handling bike. Hey, we already grabbed 50 right there. Yeah, this thing moves out. So we were doing 50 up the hill. So that's pretty good. Let me run it down the street here. We'll see if I can get any more than that. So we went 2.2 miles so far. It grabs speed quick. That was 52. So we did 53. So far we got a top speed at 53. Oh, there's 54 right there, down that hill. And the brakes are fantastic on this bike. So the bike did what? 3.59 0 to 30 and around 54 miles an hour. So it's actually pretty quick for the most mellow version of this bike, and the motor is still cool. So we went about 4 miles doing all that stuff, and the battery is still at 84%, and the motor is just warm. So it's not even that hot after all that running. So that's really good. So this bike handles fantastic. You can tell they have this thing really sorted out. This thing will definitely handle a lot more speed. So I do have a 72 volt battery that I can throw in here, and we'll see if we can beat up on 3.59 0 to 30 and maybe pick up a little bit more top speed without swapping out the controller or anything like that. So you have the 60 volt battery and then the 72 volt battery. 72 volt actually looks a little bit smaller. go see if we can beat up on 3.59. 0 to 30. So with the 72 volt battery, what is that about? I think 6 kW? Oh, we knocked out a 3.36. So it definitely got quicker. See if I can back that up. 3.36. So we dropped a couple of tenths. Let's see if we can beat up on 3.36. .21, so it even got quicker. Let's see what we get for top speed. It gets there quick. We're already doing 50 up the hill, so it's definitely faster. Yeah, it's definitely faster because it's doing 50 miles an hour going uphill. Let me run it back down and I'll see if I can get that 54 at that same spot on that downhill part. There's 56. Yeah, this thing moves out with a 72 volt battery. So it does around 56. Man, we're not too far from 60 on this. So the bike got quicker and faster with the 72 volt battery. Let's see if the motor is warm. Yeah, barely even warm. So this thing is well sorted out for sure. 60 volt setup, 5 kW. We did 3.59, 0 to 30, and 54 miles an hour. Then I added the 72 volt. We dropped to 3.21. So we almost dropped, what, 4 tenths? That thing is a lot quicker. And then a little bit faster, 56. So this is definitely a well-sorted bike. I mean, all the way around. It handles great, it brakes awesome. I mean, the brakes work fantastic. It's actually pretty quick for a 5 kW setup, and then definitely quick with the 72 volt. I love the suspension on this. It definitely rides really well on the street. So what should I do next? Maybe the 13 kW kit? So if you're interested in this bike or anything else from Electro & Co., be sure to use the discount code linked in the description.